So I grew up in Illinois. My parents were teachers, and my dad was a football coach, but he also taught a criminology and law class, which I didn't take, by the way, because it was my dad, and I don't know how cool that it was. But he would always bring in police officers to speak to the class, and it was interesting. So growing up in a house of public servants, I knew that I was either going to go into a career in athletics, because I played a lot of sports, or I was going to go into something like law enforcement. Family is really important to me, and I knew I wanted to plant roots. So I got more interested in law enforcement. I was actually in the hiring process for a federal agency and just kept seeing billboards and kept seeing, hey, Phoenix Police is hiring. And it just kind of spoke to me. And I thought, I think local law enforcement is really where I want to go. And I've never looked back since. I think it was definitely the better choice. I came to adult sex crimes in Family Investigations Bureau as a sergeant. So I did that for a few years.
She ended up being my peer and training me when I first went over to adult sex crimes. It was a handful of months later, she got promoted and left. And then she came back, I don't know, about a year and a half later as my supervisor.
As the adult sex crimes, missing persons, sex offender notification unit lieutenant, my boss wanted me to combine them all into one word, but you can't. There's so many different things that they're doing.
Obviously, she works in an incredibly stressful and vitally important part of the department. And one of the privileges I have is to be an encouragement or support to her detectives, but also to her. And you can imagine the stress that any supervisor is under right now with the shortness of staffing and some of the struggles that they have been through.
Victims of sexual violence, it's not discriminatory. So if 1 in 4 women are going to be victims of sexual violence at some point in their life, that could be, if you know 4 women, which most people do, it's likely that you at least know somebody who has been a victim of sexual violence. It's a very underreported crime. So we, as the Adult Sex Crimes Unit, do our best to try to get people to trust us to come and report their crimes to us.
With just how the whole facility or the whole floor is laid out, it's not very conducive to having a victim that just underwent a major, possibly life-changing trauma. Basically to walk through a detective area.
And we have a very small little waiting room for them. So knowing what they're about to go into that day, between an interview, an exam, things like that, we can do better. It means that we need to upgrade and make sure that we are staying in line with the trauma-informed principles that are coming up now.
What she wants to do is have that person leave, regaining that small sense of control back in their life.
I want them to have a safe space to go report their crime, trust in the police that we're going to take the best care of them, just as if they were our own loved ones and our own family. And that's every victim that comes through our center.
It means a lot to her, and you can tell it means a lot to her from what equipment goes in the room, what furniture goes in the room, what colors they're going to talk about painting this place, and what the flooring is going to look like.
So whether it's baking lemon bars for her squad or designing the victim center down at FAC, she has put her energy and effort into something that's going to make a difference in people's lives. The little stuff and the big stuff.
Between the different protocols that she's changed, the training that she's implemented, victims are being treated better now, in my opinion, than they've ever had before by the Family Investigations Bureau.
She lives for and acts out of a desire to serve someone and something greater than herself. The center and the foundation of Sara's strength is her faith. And because she lives that faith, everything she does is about serving, caring for, and preserving, protecting those that need her.
I love my job. I love every part of it. I love that I've had the opportunities to move around in the department, meet different people, learn different things. I'm always trying to learn, and wherever I go, make it better.
If I had a child that chose this profession, Sara would be right at the top of the list of people who I would want my child working for.
I think my daughter wants to be a police officer at some point, and being able to come home and kind of talk about, especially being a woman on the department and some of the challenges that brings, but also some of the very positive things.
I know this award is about women in blue, but I believe with all my heart that Sara represents everything about anyone who wears blue, and that she is truly an example for all of us who wear this uniform to follow as a leader and as a person.
Sara, you've always gone above and beyond. Your work in advocating for sexual abuse and domestic violence victims is unparalleled. And I've also watched how you manage and take care of our employees. Congratulations on receiving the Elevated Women in Law Enforcement Award. Keep up the excellent work.